Welcome back to the channel, welcome back to more Sniper Elite 5, and thank you so much for all the support on the last video. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at the sniper rifles and we're going to break them down in a lot of detail so you can make an informed decision which of those rifles are for you. Let's do it! So you would think a sniper is a sniper is a sniper, but very smartly, the game developers in Sniper Elite 5 have recognised that when you are sniping, some players require different things. So what they've done is they've put both negative and positive spins on each of the sniper rifles, and if you don't know it, you might be using the wrong weapon and get a little frustrated. So hopefully I can clear up a few things today, deep dive in a lot of detail into each rifle, and by the end of it hopefully you can figure out which is the rifle for you, and we'll show you how to unlock all the rifles in the game as we go through. Now if you haven't watched my beginner strategy guide, I would suggest please do that, because there's a lot of tips in that guide that you might not necessarily pick up specifically with the snipers. You might not pick up automatically, and it will help you together with having the right sniper, and I think having the right weapon that suits your game play or your game style is a big one. But there's a lot of other nuances that they've put into the game that if you don't know about them and you're not using them, you're probably not getting the best out of your rifle. Okay, so let's start off in the rifle section in the loadout screen. And by default, you're going to have a couple unlocked at the start of the game. You're even going to have the M1903 or the SRAM-1. The M1903 is the one that I used for my playthrough, and I love the rifle. And we'll get into why in a while. But so those are open automatically. And then you'll see with the rest of these guns, they're all locked. So let's go through them one at a time. The Gerber 1943 is unlocked in Mission 3 at the Spy Academy. So you just unlock that by completing the Spy Academy mission. The Carabiner 98 is unlocked by completing the kill challenge in Mission 2, Occupied Residence. Now, the kill challenge is that one with the little red diamond on the map that you'll see. And you have to be very specific in looking at what the kill challenges are for each of those maps. So we will cut to that in a second and we'll figure that out. So the kill challenge for Mission 2 is to crush Frederick Kummler with one of the Chateau's chandeliers to unlock that weapon. The M1A carbine requires you to complete Mission 5, Festung Guernsey. And then the RSC 1918 requires you to complete the kill challenge in Mission 7, Secret Weapons. And in Mission 7 it is Dr. Christian Jungers, and you've got to kill Dr. Jungers with a V2 rocket. Okay, well, yeah, there you go for you completionists. So you can see you don't automatically get all of these weapons straight away. You have to actually play through the game, which is pretty standard for Sniper Elite. As is pretty customary for me to do, I've broken down the stats that I'll be referring to into one chart. So I'm going to show that now for you, and if you want to screenshot it just to reference each of the rifles and kind of study all the numbers and try and figure out what the gun is for you, yeah, please feel free to do that. I will, like I said, be working through each of these rifles in order and giving you a fairly detailed breakdown. Okay, so let's start with the M1903, which is one of the starting rifles that are unlocked at the start of the game. Like I said, I enjoyed playing with this game, and I actually played my whole playthrough. I started with the SRAM and switched to the 1903, and I really didn't look at any of the other snipers after that. And one of the big reasons for that is this probably has the best range of all the sniper rifles in the game. Now, that is the upside. So it's got the best range, which is what I like. I like to sit back and just pick people off. and this rifle is really very easy to use for regardless of what skill. If you're just learning, this is a great rifle. Some of the downsides, though, are the reload time is very slow, and you only get 5 rounds of ammunition in your clip. So if you miss that first shot and you have to reload, it can get you into a little bit of a problem. But once you learn the weapon, then I think you'll be fine with it. It didn't give me that many issues. One of the recommendations I do give is if you can carry armor-piercing rounds, it'll help you a lot with your headshots, especially if the enemy has got a helmet on or something. But the other thing is that this has got a huge amount of raw power, and you'll see it in the little bars up above. We'll just run through the stats quickly for you. The audible range is and these are all stock before putting anything on the gun. You can bring these numbers down. Audible range is 135 meters. The fire rate of 34 rounds per minute. 120 health points per shot. Recoil recovery is about 500 mils. It starts you off with an 8 times zoom. And as I said, the magazine size is 5. I tended to run the 12 or 14 times zoom on this. And given that it is a fairly good ranged weapon, I had no issue whatsoever. So let's move on to the SRAM-1, which is a sniper rifle experimental model 1, also known as the Enfield sniper rifle, which was an early bullpup weapon. It was an experimental British bullpup sniper in 1944 near the end of World War II. It's manually operated with action cycle through the movable pistol grip. The RSC in game has been very, very popular with people that have been playing this game. It has excellent damage and the fire rates are pretty high. It has low recoil, and so that you get a little bit better recovery on your recoil. However, there are a few downsides to using this weapon. One of that being that the audible range is very, very high at standard, and this is when you're talking about a very stealth game. The audible range is very, very key. And also the muzzle velocity also might get you spotted. So I did enjoy using this. I probably used this in mission 1 of the game, and then I switched to the 1903. Maybe more than that, maybe mission 1 and 2, and then moved to the other one. The stats on this are as follows. The audible range, as we said, are 150 meters. It has a fire rate of 250 rounds per minute compared to the M1903, which was 34, so it's considerably faster. It has a higher damage at 127 health points, so you can see why people love it. Recoil recovery is a little bit lower at 400. You start with a 6 times zoom, which is a little bit of a downside. And again, the magazine size is only 5. So that's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's certainly worth considering. But I think the range at which this rifle hit at the 127 health points is not as good as the 1903. Next is the Gerber 1943, which was chambered in 7.92 by 57mm Mauser and was a semi-automatic rifle in World War II, developed by Germany and designed based on the earlier G41. And it was incorporated an improvement with a short-stroke piston gas system similar to that of the Soviet Tokarev SVT-40, so it was the kind of their version of the SVT. So the Gerber is one that you would have heard of a lot. If you play a lot of shooters, you know about the Gerber. Unfortunately, in this game, it's probably reasonably mediocre. It's probably a mid to short range weapon at best. And But it does, I mean, it does have some upsides. It has a fairly high fire rate, and the recoil recovery is pretty good on it. But apart from that, it has a limited scope zoom, and yeah, just for long range, I would not necessarily recommend this. The stats on this: audible range 130 meters, which is same as the M1903. The fire rate's 400 rounds per minute, so if you miss a shot, at least you can get the next one off pretty quickly. Damage is 105 health points, which is the lowest of the rifles we've looked at so far. Recoil recovery is 400 milliseconds, which is the same as the RSC. Zoom at standards is only 6 times, but the magazine is double what we've looked at so far, with 10 ammunition in the ammunition magazine. So let's move on to the Carabiner 98 Kurtz, which was a Polish design. And again, chambered in 7.92 times 57mm Mauser cartridge, and adopted in actually 1935 as a standard service rifle by the Germans. And it was semi-automatic and fully automatic in World War II, and it became a very big favourite with the German forces up until the end of the war in 1945. The Carabiner 98 is hands down the most powerful sniper rifle in the game. So if you can get your hands on it, this is the gun for you. It's just, it hits with a punch. Now, the problem about that is you have to complete that kill challenge in Mission 2 that we spoke about earlier. But if you can, and you've got the patience to do that, well, you are going to be rewarded big time. The audible range at standard is 140 meters. It's got a very slow rate of fire at 28 RPM, but here's the big one. Damage, 145 health points. And yeah, the recoil recovery is 500 mils. Standard zoom is 6 times standard zoom, and a magazine times 5 is 5 bullets in the magazine. But this is the highest hitting sniper rifle in the game. But of course, as I said, the downside is you've got to complete that specific kill challenge to unlock it. The M1A carbine was a US rifle, very lightweight, semi-automatic, and was standard for the US military in World War II and the Korean and Vietnam Wars. Very resilient weapon. People just loved it. It had so much going for it, and just was a solid choice with your original grenade with your workbench. So very, very simple fixes. It allowed me to fix that problem straight away, and yeah, I was able to keep building. So there you go, guys. That's all I had to say about Workbench / Workshop Anywhere. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope it's informative, and it maybe gives you a few more options to continue building in areas that you probably never even thought about building in the Commonwealth. If you did enjoy it and it was informative in the video today, a like rating's always appreciated. I love hearing your comments and your own experiences, so please feel free to leave comments down below, and we will catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya. And finally, the RSC 1918. Now, I couldn't find any reference to this weapon specifically, but the RSC M1917 was a French Army weapon, gas-operated semi-automatic rifle, and was used in the later part of World War II. And I would suggest that it's probably just a variant of that rifle that was adopted for use in World War II. And again, this is another one of those weapons that has a kill challenge attached to it, probably the most difficult kill challenge that you can do. But again, because it has a kill challenge associated with it, it's got very high damage. Not quite the Carabiner damage, but it is quite high at 127 health points. So you can imagine that's it's a very popular rifle. Again, it has low recoil, which gives it a good recovery. Its audible range, though, is about 150 meters, which is quite wide. Fire rate's not quite as high as some of the others, which at 250 rounds per minute. Recoil recovery 400 mils, 6 times zoom at standard, and a 5 magazine ammunition capacity. So it's very effective at headshots at long range. So this is a longer range weapon, and yeah, upgrading with stock foregrip and a receiver might well help to push this rifle a little bit further. So there you go, guys. There's a breakdown of every single sniper rifle in the game. I hope it's useful for you. As you can see, there's a wide variety of attributes which each of these rifles, and it's really just about finding the one that looks right for you. I would say all the stats that we've given you today are all base stats, so you can improve every one of these rifles with attachments, and quite significantly with attachments. And yeah, you should just take a little bit of time to have a look through each of these rifles, have a look through a number of these attachments, and just see if you can come up with the right combination that gets you a rifle that works for you. For me, the 1903, as I said earlier, is one that I just found was the right rifle for me. I found the right attachment combination and used it in the full game. Certainly, having looked at the other rifles and some of the stats, there are certainly some very, very interesting rifles there. The kill challenges, I don't know how I feel about those. I think, you know, if you've played through 8 or 10 missions, you should get those unlocked anyway. That's my personal view on them. But anyway, for you completionists in the community, if you want to go after them, I think you're going to be heavily rewarded for the effort. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it's informative and it helps you make a informed decision on which of the sniper rifles you want to use. I'd love to hear what you're using and how you find it in the game, if you're playing the game at the moment. And we'll catch you next time on Gaming for XP. See ya.